everybody. My name is Nizar, and here is my colleague Sebastien, and we both work for ENGIE, and we're going to give you a bit of feedback on API journeys in a large decentralized group as ours. So, hop on to the agenda. First, I'll be introducing a bit about ENGIE, who we are, what we do, and our values. Then I'll give you feedback on ENGIE Digital, and Sebastien will go on and give you feedback about his own API journey in one of the BUs. Okay, so ENGIE, who we are. We are the first independent energy producer in the world. So a couple of numbers here: 150,000 employees, 70 billion euros of revenue, and implanted in 70 countries. So going from South America up to China, through Europe, Africa, and Middle East. About a year ago, our CEO, Isabelle Cocher, has enforced a new strategy for the group that's called the 3Ds. The first D is decarbonation. So as you can see on the screen, 20% of our energy production is based on renewable energies. So that's solar farms, wind farms, hydroelectric plants, stuff like that. Okay. So I was thinking about it a couple hours ago. The title of the conference is Sustainable Software for a Sustainable Society. And Isabelle said something at the World Economic Forum a couple of days ago, and she said there is no winning company in a losing world. So that's one part of the values of ENGIE. So I'm a father of a little kid who has 1 year, and working for a company that tries to make a difference on the world is something that you can really be proud of. Okay. Second part of this 3D strategy is decentralization. So don't think big power plants, think small electrical grids based on wind farms and renewable energies. And third part is digitalization, obviously. So you know what I'm talking about: customer experience, optimizing assets, and helping out the employees do better. Okay, so when this strategy has been launched, there's been this entity that has been created called ENGIE Digital. That's where we work in. And the goal is to help all the business units achieve their digital transformation. So 24 business units, each one pretty much autonomous when it comes to what they do. Most of them already have their own IT systems department. So how do we help them? How do we help them achieve this digital transformation? So we've created an entity within ENGIE Digital that works on APIs, and we focus on 4 goals. So we often see evangelize, so I'm not gonna go dig deeper onto this one. So we're gonna help out the businesses think API first and help them foster innovation, and through API economy workshops. So show them that APIs aren't just some technical stuff. It's also something that can help them mature business. Okay. Then you have all the part about sharing. So since each BU is autonomous, we need to make them converge and show them what each one of them does, so they can help out each other. Then we have all the part about training, where we're going to train the business units on how to develop well-conceived APIs. And finally, we're going to deliver software. Okay, so it seems logical said like this, but since we're giving feedback about an API journey, actually, the story goes backwards. So when we first started this initiative 1 year ago, we had lots of projects hopping in. And so we started delivering APIs. We started integrating APIs in our API manager. Okay, so after a couple of months, we looked a bit about what we were delivering, and we saw that APIs weren't that performant, weren't really secure. So all the BUs deliver stuff, and that wasn't really that good. Okay, so we thought, okay, let's try to train the business units on to deliver performant, scalable, and secure APIs. Okay, so that's the part about training. Then we saw that some APIs did basically the same thing. So thought, okay, we need to make people communicate with each other. So that's when we built a community around APIs to help all the people converge into one objective. digital transformation, and through an API portal too. And last point, which is the most important, evangelize. So the business wasn't really ready for APIs, and we're helping them understand through API economy workshops what it's meant for and how they can make money with it. Okay, so that's the story. I talked a bit about the API portal. So the thing is, autonomous business units, each one makes its own choices. So we have lots of API manager solutions all around the globe. So we have some Axway, Computer Associate, WSO2, Amazon, Azure, etc. So we decided to make a portal that can aggregate all the API managers into one. Okay, and since we're in a top-down strategy where we're putting evangelization first, all the user experience is business-oriented. So it's not a developer portal like you can see everywhere. It's really a business API portal. We've made it data-driven because we think that the data is our commonwealth within ENGIE, and that it can help like the business units and the businesses think about how they can integrate other people's data into their own systems. Finally, we can deploy this portal pretty much everywhere, and since we aggregate all the API managers into this portal, we can also get all sorts of analytics and make them converge into one. Okay, a little demo, and then I'm gonna let my colleague Sebastien talk to you. Take for instance a weather API. Okay, so this one talks to most people. I think you know what weather is. So the business guy gets into the portal. Okay, he sees. Okay, so he has an API that gives him historic, current, and forecast weather. Okay, so he goes in a bit deeper. He sees, okay, so what kind of data do I have? I have some temperature, humidity, okay, so wind speed, and I see that I can get this every hour. Okay, so this speaks to him because it's a data-driven API, right? So when he looks about the kind of usages that this API does, he sees, okay, so there's an Excel connector for this API. I can download it and start looking what kind of stuff I can do with it. And when he thinks that this API is interesting enough for him to integrate into his own system, that's when the devs come in. So he tells to his developer, okay, so go take a look about to the API and see how you can integrate it within our system. That's when you have the classic developer portal features like download Swagger, download some code, request API keys, and stuff like that. Okay, so that's about it. Sebastien is going to give you an insight about the API journey of one of the 24 BUs, which is one of the most advanced. Okay.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So our API journey in one of the many BUs of ENGIE, so we have 24 BUs, business units. Here I'm focusing on my BU called Global Energy Management. It's a BU with 1,300 employees, and we're busy in the energy management, meaning trading energy, supplying gas and electricity to customers, doing risk management, doing asset optimization, doing a lot of stuff on the energy management. And our key assets are people and IT. We don't have trucks, we don't have cars, we don't have technical power lines. We just have people and our IT. And the API transformation I'm going to talk about is our transformation that made us go from early 16 with API being almost unknown for any business people. I don't talk about IT, they knew about API. But on the business side, nobody was talking about APIs. And then early 2018, so now, APIs are a core topic for most of the business teams in general. So that's our journey, but it's also my personal journey in the last 2 years. So back early 16, the year wasn't starting great for me. I was 39, 10 years in the same job, so not really Gen Y kind of profile. And I was seeing my 40s coming, my birthday, where I would have to tell people I was still in the same job after 10 years. And my ego, just behind me, was whispering me, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. That's my ego. And then, moreover, I got my boss, who told me early 16, Sebastien, I need to talk to you. Ah, yeah, great, promotion. No, Sebastien, you need to change job. So I had on my shoulders, on one side my ego, on the other side my boss, and I had to change job. So, an existential crisis for me, early 16. Now I was thinking, okay, what can I do next? And I have 15 years of business experience. So my whole professional life was on the business side, not the IT side. I knew pretty much GEM, I knew pretty much all activities in GEM, a lot of people. And on the other side, I had 30 years of coding experience. So I was start coding when I was 9, and I've coded almost every day of my life since this time. And then I said, okay, I'm quite strong on business. I have IT skills, so I understand IT on the other side. And our BU was going through a huge transformation in mindset, like ENGIE. It was all about innovation and digitalization. So it's okay, now I have an existential opportunity for me. I can try to do something big, something interesting with my skills and the atmosphere, the vibe in our business unit. And then I start thinking about platform, about GAFAs, about the third industrial revolution, all what we see today, drones, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all this stuff. And I found Jeff Bezos' memo, this infamous memo about in Amazon in 2002. Who's already read the memo? Just to raise your hand. Okay, not everyone. So it was a memo where Jeff Bezos in 2003 told his employees, you need to communicate between teams only through APIs. And if you don't do this, you're fired. Okay, what I liked was not the you're fired part, because it's not really ENGIE style, but it was about letting each team expose its service, its capabilities to other teams through APIs. That was just a really mind-blowing reading for me. And go read it because it's really worthwhile to read. And then, continuing, I found Twilio. Who knows Twilio in the... Okay. So Twilio, it's a company that's offering telecommunication as a service. So you can send SMS via API, you can make a voice call via API, you can receive a voice call via API. They're one of the big pure API player on Earth, and a very, very good one. So go and visit their site to see what they're proposing with their APIs. And there I saw that you could send an SMS on any phone number in the world by just calling an API, giving the number, be it in France, Indonesia, Brazil, giving the text you want to send, and when you run it, after 1 second, the guy gets his SMS. For me, that was just amazing as a developer, as a coder, an amazing experience. And then I told myself, okay, Twilio, what did it do? They're in the telecommunication industry, a quite regulated, fragmented, complex industry. And energy is quite similar. It's complex, it's regulated, and it's quite fragmented. So I say, okay, Twilio, wow, what they took is the telecommunication vertical and make it available as an API, super simple. And then I say, okay, could we go the same way and take our BU, GEM, our vertical energy management, and offer our services as a service to anyone? That was the idea. So the idea was just pitching colleagues that were okay to talk about it at the coffee machine. And I was thinking about how can I do innovation. So this idea, how can I put it in place in GEM? And then I had several choices. People told me, go for incubation. It's very trendy. You go in a nice incubator, startup, ping pong, whatever you need. And I said, no, I want to change GEM. I mean, it's GEM that I want to expose as a service. It's not meaningful to go outside just to expose the organization you just left. So I said, no, I can't go incubation. And then I said, okay, can we build a new digital division in GEM to do APIs, to do all this new digital stuff. And I said, no, I want that every team in ENGIE, every team in GEM to be enlightened by APIs. I don't want to have a 2.0 division and then a 1.0 the rest of GEM, just watching other people doing fun stuff. So I said, no, I'm not going to go this way. I want everybody to be transformed. And then I said, okay, maybe I should try with a specific project to prove the value of APIs. So take a standard project, say, let's do it the API way, and then make the point and say, look, it works. Well, for me, it wasn't necessary because I was super convinced that API are just a tremendous opportunity for us. And I think it could take too much time to do it, and then if you do it in a team, it's a project of the team. Even if it's successful, it's very difficult for other teams to relate to this project. And to say, okay, they did a great stuff, people on less great stuff, they're not going to say, oh yeah, let's do it the same way. They're going to say, you do it this way, but I want to do it my way. So I say, okay, specific project doesn't work. What I need to do is API evangelization. Start talking to all the people in GEM to tell them the benefits of API. So getting to know people, connecting with people, and trying to do scaling and mass adoption in GEM. That was my target. But then, and that's an important question, how are you going to pitch the board? So till then, I was just thinking in my head about all this and sharing with some colleagues, to some sparring partners to get ideas. And I say, how can you pitch the board? A board that's not digital. They are not the digital native. They don't know about API. They are not coders. So how can you explain an API to these guys? And then I took the way of, let's show them how innovation is happening outside GEM. How in the Silicon Valley you get startups like Uber, not anymore startup, but like plenty of people innovating thanks to API. And so I prepared a story to present where I say, okay, I will be the speaking weather startup, offering a great service to notify people of the weather by phone. So it's a stupid idea. That's not the point. The point was to say, okay, I want to have an immersive experiment where people can really feel the magic of API. What I took is a simple Excel with the list of my customers of the startup, which were the people in the room, with their name, their phone number, their language, their location, and then I just call, I just had their name, and when I press a button in Excel, it starts calling first weather API to get the weather, where the user wanted. Then I build a message in English, and I use a translation API to get it in Vietnamese, in Chinese, in French, Romanian, all the language of the people. And then I use Twilio to make a call. So call the phone numbers. So during the pitch, I had the board, and then I was telling them, okay, that's how innovation is happening outside. I press a button, and within a second, you got the 10 mobile phone number of the board that was ringing. Everybody taking the phone, laughing because it was in crazy languages, and it really got. I struck them in the heart, in the fun, and that made a huge difference. I had not only this fun demo, because it was just fun. I had also like a strategy and all this stuff, but really the immersive experiment is key to get people interested by API. They didn't know about API anyway, but they got the interest. And so I had a new job. They told me, go for it, do APIs, do whatever you think is good for APIs. Now, lessons learned from my 2 years of evangelization. First is people all the way down. I mean, technical, that's easy. Not easy, it's complex, but to convince the business that it's important, it's only people. So first you need to connect, because to people, they're the key to the transformation. And connecting is really not saying, okay, I will target this team, I don't know them, I will just pitch them with my toy demo. That's not gonna work. I was always looking for a team where I had a trusted relationship. So one guy of the team trusted me because we worked before together, or because there was this magic alchemy with people. And then trying to get each team with someone introducing me with already a, you can trust Sebastien, you can listen to him. And then trying to target each and every team one by one and explaining for each activity they have that they knew, I could do a custom speech to really engage them on the API. So connecting, that's super important. And also not connecting me with the other, but interconnecting people. And then find early adopters. There are some of them in the room from ENGIE. These early adopters were people who got the API trick very quickly, and then already saw plenty of opportunities. They didn't understand fully APIs, but they saw the potential of doing this. And they were already very keen to start doing APIs. With the IT part, that was very happy to see a modern topic on the table instead of doing a sysadmin or whatever kind of boring stuff, to do APIs. They were very professional and very eager to learn about this. So you got really quickly IT team and business team going together, talking about API, really a business topic because it's your core service, your core capabilities that you need to expose. And then you have IT close to the business, like a squad team, working together for APIs. And then you need to think API as a product. So APIs are your product. Your service is your API. And if APIs are a product, you need to have a product owner on the business that takes care of the API, that find customers. Get a customer first, not yourself. Huh? Even if it's for an internal API, you need to find a colleague that is not on your team. Because if you're self-consuming your API, it's not that great. And then you need to be an enabler. Myself and my colleague Simon, we should be enabler, not the middleman that's blocking everything, not the bottleneck that's in between and that's just imposing rules, governance, guidelines, whatever. You need to be able to hide yourself and let people work together and not try to be essential. And then empowering, I was very clear since the beginning that we were not writing the APIs. It was the teams, the different division, department teams that were going to write their own API. So it's really telling them, you're in the driver's seat, do whatever you can and you want with APIs. And that's it. That's my 2 years journey. Thank you very much. Open for questions.
Really interesting. We don't have time for questions, if it's okay, right?
Okay,
fine. But I think it was clear. Maybe we'll have time for one question, but I would just have, so the people who need helmets to be to translate into English, so French translated into English, right? We have helmets here, so you can grab them, right? Or you can raise your hand and you can bring them to you, right? So during that time, right, waiting for the setup, right? We may have one question from someone in the audience. One question. People scratching. I always think it's a question. So, to your mind, in your evangelization, right, inside, who was the key? Who was the first? I don't ask names, right? But who was the position that really made the change, right? Say like this one, this person, this position, really was the driver into the evangelization, right? When this person said yes, then things changed. The CIO, the head of architecture, some product managers, a group. Who was it? Or it was a...
You mean for new APIs or to kick off the whole API?
To kick off the whole thing.
To kick off, it was just me supported by my boss who asked me to change job and that told me go pitch the board because what you're telling me is very important.
So the board was the...
And the board said go for it and I got a kind of mandate to spend money and time on APIs.
So it's still the board. It's still at the board level, right? Not under. Okay.
No.
So thank you, Nizar, thank you, Sebastien.